Yahweh, Yahweh.
thepowerofvoices.com, the Comedy Hour Live. Hey, people, it's Annamarie here. And welcome in. My guest tonight is Nancy Bellany. Hi, Nancy. Nancy is pretty much like me. We're both on a little bit of the I got up early and I didn't. Yeah, right? Man, and you know, having the one thing about having it this hour of the evening is I picked this time because of traffic. All right? And the idea of anybody getting here, because some of the radio shows that I've been on, like the one I was on last night, traffic sucked. And it didn't just suck, it was like the red lights getting there on La Brea. Right? Mm-hmm. Have you ever been like, I mean, you're a performer, getting to a gig and been like, oh my God, am I going to make this?
Am I going to make this? And so scared about it too. So scared about it as well. You know, like, oh my God, am I going to get on time? Am I going to get there on time? Or is someone going to have to take my spot for a few minutes?
Yeah, you can pull that mic towards you.
I can pull it.
I know you know how to work that. That's right.
Okay, cool.
Now, I want you guys to know this about Nancy. For some of you that don't, you have how many children?
I have 3 kids.
Okay, and you also not just do comedy. You're also a promoter. You bring in groups of showcases, right?
Yes, I produce comedy shows once every 6 weeks.
All right.
Yes.
Now wait, we're not done yet. Okay, and you also have a regular job. Like as far as like, no, I mean not just doing that, but you also like you're not just on stage doing that. There's a lot that goes into all of that.
There's a lot, yeah. There is a lot that goes into all of that. But I do the kids. I take care of the kids.
What are their ages?
Oh, I have all kinds of ages. I have 11. I have 17, and I have almost 19.
Damn. Okay, so you've gotten through some of the, you know, what? How old were they when you started doing this?
Oh my God, I started years ago because I had them in the business. I had them doing commercials, so I was doing it with the kids. Yeah,
That's awesome.
I kept busy as I was pregnant with the kids. I put them on television, so I did that with them, got them going, and then I went and back into stand-up comedy. I did stand-up comedy when before I even had my babies, and then I stopped, and then I came back to it. I just came back to stand-up comedy like 2 years ago, 2.5 years
That's
ago.
it?
Yeah, I have a total of 7 years of stand-up comedy.
Okay, that's not a lot.
It's
You're
not
like
a
a
lot
baby
at all.
out here.
I am a baby. I am
Right.
almost a fetus.
Right.
out here.
And yeah, that be true. And prior to that, like, you grew up where?
Brooklyn, New York City.
Ah, Brooklyn,
Hey.
New York. Hey, Brooklyn. Right. And okay, so how many kids in the fam?
Oh, in the fam, there's 4 kids in the family. I'm the eldest, and
Oh, really?
yes, and we did Brooklyn, and then after a bunch of years in high school, we moved to Queens. So Brooklyn and then Queens.
How the hell did you end up out in California?
My husband at the time was transferred over here, so I ended up over here a couple
Are
of
you
years
still
ago.
married?
Yeah.
How many years, miss?
Long time.
Long
Problems
time.
though. Having problems, but it's okay.
You're at that. Okay, so you're in double digits.
I'm in double digits.
Right
so-
about 10 to 13, there's a huge shift. I mean, they actually did that movie 7-Year Itch based on 7 years. Men get, people do. It's because you become like fam.
Yeah, you become
It's like
it becomes like brother and sister.
yes,
You know,
yes.
it becomes like brother.
Especially if you were really young.
Especially we were very young, and then with no experience. And then after a while, you're like, huh? Am I kind of growing out of this relationship, or what? What's going
Yeah,
on?
a lot of. Well, yeah, I would think that there's everybody, everybody ends up on a path, and communication. That's no joke. But it's really hard to keep things fiery and alive, and it does take like. Does he follow and have an interest in what it is you're doing?
No, he's not in this at all. He doesn't follow it at all. And I kept them out of it. To keep things new and fresh between us. But it's just he went. He has his own interests, and I have my own hobbies, and I'm kind of like, eh.
Yeah, well, it's something. It's something that I know this because your kids take up so much of your time when you're little. When they're little, I'm
When
sorry.
they're little.
And then it becomes like, as the kids get older, there's a shift in the way you're running them. Do your kids in sports? And if you were a commercial mom, that's a lot of running around.
Did a lot of running around.
My grandson's gorgeous. I said to my daughter, why don't you have him do it? She goes, Mom, do you have any idea what that takes?
A lot
well,
of
who's
driving
lazy
on the
here?
highway. That's a lot of driving.
Yeah.
On the 405.
Yeah, really?
A
'Cause
lot of driving on the 405. A lot of sweet talking the kids into
wanting to
doing
go
it,
one more
doing
time.
it correctly and giving them candy to make them audition properly. Am I sounding like Joe Jackson now?
Nah. But I remember that whole spiel. It is an art. I mean, watching Showbiz Moms, and that's something that the kids don't want to. They don't want to do it. They're like, they don't understand what it is you got them doing again, right?
Like, again, Mommy?
It's like, yeah, well, I got to be
Do
in
I
a room.
have to?
What do you
I
mean,
have to be
wait?
nice to all those people.
Right,
you know?
right. But, in transitioning from that into your own thing, and you also, you went to college.
I went to school also, yes.
Yes.
Arizona State, yeah.
And you, okay, so now you're in Arizona.
Right.
Getting a little closer to being out here.
Out here, yeah.
Yeah. Did you go through crazy-ass roommate stages?
No, I didn't.
No.
I didn't really have that problem. Did you?
Well, I'm learning. It's living with anybody. I joke with people and go, look, you grew up with your family, and remember how you tried to get away from them.
Mm-hmm.
You right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm out in LA, and experiencing that. There's a huge shift in like I'm all ready to throw people out, get rid of them. I can't take this, and then everybody's like, did you try having a conversation? What? I'm like, no, man. Did you ever go through that where you had a confrontation with somebody and the idea of like having to address it? It's like now I want to say this because
What?
you tell me, is there a difference with the way because some people go, is she black? And I'm like, yes. Oh yeah, it's the attitude, the way black women talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, you feel like you've been pistol whipped with somebody's tongue. I got you.
Oh yeah.
But there's still love in there. Where's the love? I feel like I'm with my mother again, right? Oh, is that what it is? I gotta look at this like we're talking to my mother. She's gonna tell me the way it is. Yeah.
Is that so? So she is black.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's a brilliant woman. And
Can she cook?
Yeah. But she cooks for herself. And also like the way
Oh,
she's
that's why you're not
clean,
cooking.
like it's almost like karma coming back on me because my kids, I would say, everything clean, immaculate. I mean, did you trying to like you had 3 kids, right? So
trying to keep the house clean was
and do you working and doing this?
Oh yes. Oh my God. All the time. Like especially on Saturday mornings, I'd wake the kids up early.
I think that's
for
a
everybody
mother
to clean
thing
up.
to get the whip out on Saturday. Everybody up, right? Did
I
you
need
ever
these
do that
dishes
with
washed.
Gloria?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Of course. She wouldn't even let us sleep without cleaning. I mean, it's ridiculous.
So how much of that plays into the comedy that you do?
Family time plays into I think 60% of my stand up is family, kids, mom,
Relationships. And you know, I really do believe that. Like, I'm a huge let's support our comedians, because it really is something people don't really understand what you guys go through. You know, you have regular lives. It's not like they're throwing, you know, there's not a pole on stage that we're dancing on getting dollar bills thrown at us.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, if you had that, like, joke so good, hey, maybe we should start a club like that.
Which one?
The joke bucket. So every time, you know, they make you laugh, you got to put money in the bucket.
That would be nice.
You know, so comedians actually can make more money, because you want to see 15 performers, but you don't want to have a 2-drink minimum where the club's getting their thing, and the comedians are actually getting nothing but stage time.
Stage time, and that's really what they want. It's like stage time. We have so many comics that have no idea on how to actually make money from stand-up. There is a way to make money from stand-up.
Could you enlighten us on that? I'm taking notes.
You have to know how to produce your own shows. That's what I do.
Do you hear that, folks? You have to learn the soft spoken. And I want you to know, when she's on mic on the stage, this woman is shall we say, not very, very, you know,
I'm saying it quietly because it's a lot of work
to produce your own show.
To produce your own shows. Everybody can't do it, but if you can do it, you can make some money from it.
Yeah, somebody asked me why, you know, with all you're doing with the comedians, get your name out there, why don't you look into producing a show? And I'm like, because you have to learn how to do that. But that's people's conception, is like, you're funny, you can be a comedian. No, not really. You know, maybe 30 seconds, you're a funny person in a room. Translate that into doing 4-minute, 3-minute. That's a whole...
Or 1 hour sometimes.
A 1 hour, right?
To an hour.
45 minutes
for the headliners, yeah.
And have you had that, like, where you were horrified? Horrified.
Oh my gosh! Well, I'm not a headliner. I'm a feature act. And I am an MC. So, never horrified, because you're prepared before you go up on stage. You know, so you kind of go over your set list.
Well, I heard that Willie said to me that when you're walking around, nervous energy, that all comes from no preparation. And I'm like, yeah, because there's a lot of people who think that they can just go on stage and just start talking.
And you can, if you're an MC. You're like, right. I have to do that as an MC. I have to start talking. However, when you're doing your set, your stand-up comedy set, you kind of have a set list. You kind of know, where you're going to start and where you're going to end. So it kills a lot of the nerves, I think, if you're prepared. And that takes time, too, to get there.
Has a comedian, have you ever gotten to a point where you did, you had a, shall we say, confrontation with like, or posturing with comedians, or is there nothing but love in the room?
Well, back in Atlanta, I'd have problems with comics. As when I was a new comedian, they would give you a hard time if you weren't funny or whatever. I had a really hard time. Well, we all did in Atlanta. That's like, if you go to Atlanta, you will find the funniest comedians there, because the comics were so hard on each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Here in California.
You mean they were all like an Apollo, being at the Apollo?
They were hecklers.
Yeah.
They're worse than the freaking hecklers. They would boo you.
Oh, that's
in Atlanta.
Oh man.
I mean, when they call your name, I mean, comics would be like, boo, almost like, damn, like, okay, to scare you. And that's why I have so much heart here in California. That's why I'm not scared at all here. I am not scared. After training in Atlanta for stand-up comedy, I have no fear here in California. I love hecklers too. I love hecklers.
I've seen Nancy perform, and saying that, I've seen you'll go right after.
Oh, I love.
It's like, bring it.
Please yell out during this. Don't yell out when my comics are on stage, but yell out when I'm on stage. I love going back and forth with the hecklers. I mean, they make it so much fun for me.
Well, do you to get on your stage as a comedian, you have to. You don't just take everybody.
I can't take everybody.
So you really have to choose people. And what is it they choose people on? Like somebody said, is it like YouTube where views? How many people are they going to bring in?
Kind of, sort of, yeah. Because my job as a producer is to put the butts in the seat.
Yeah, but
period.
That doesn't always translate, because some of the comedians were saying that the senior comedians were like, why I hate to bring a show.
Yeah.
Because the club is only concerned about filling the seats and not concerned about the quality, which is kind of like a double-edged sword, because if I was in the seat, and like I really do from being on the show, like looking at things differently from what makes that joke funny. How is the
Right.
audience responding?
Right.
Are people focused on what the performer is doing?
Right.
Are they talking to each other? Because if you go to see somebody sing,
Mhm.
it takes a lot to get the entire room, especially if there's alcohol involved, to focus on you.
Mhm. No,
And-
alcohol helps, but go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're on stage, and I've heard that where I'm watching you on stage and there's somebody busy talking,
Mhm.
and it gets to a point where that almost that volume kind of rises into being heard, and I've watched comedians just, excuse me, doing a fucking show here.
Yeah.
You got- yeah.
Where did you learn to whisper? In
Yeah,
front of
that
a helicopter
inside
or
voice.
whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's
Right?
ridiculous. Yeah. But on my shows, yeah, I have to choose comedians who are going to bring people. I mean, that's just the job. That's my job. And I hate to be like that because sometimes comics, contact me and they're like, Nancy, can I get on, the show? And da-da-da. And I tell them the rules. Because I can only put like one or maybe two at most comics that that are veterans. And I'll bring them on a show to mix in with the other comedians to kind of bring the value of the show up.
Right.
But my job is to put the asses in the seats, and that's what the comedy club wants.
Yeah, and you're always up at the Ice House. That's such a great place.
Yes.
I'll make that ride from the Valley up to Pasadena because I really enjoy the room that you have that you perform in.
Yeah.
And it's an intimate, yet it's not like everybody up your ass.
Right.
And they do have
Now they moved me over into the big room. I think the last time you were in the
get
smaller
out now.
room.
You're in the big room.
I'm in the bigger room.
She's in the
too.
big room. It's
Yeah.
only a matter of time, folks. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said about it, and you also act. You're an actor too.
I'm an actress
I saw
also.
you in what do you call it? Scrubs. So I
Yes.
know you're on a medical show. It's got a big name.
Which one was that?
Was that Grey's Anatomy?
Oh, damn! Oh God, not Bones. I was on.
Oh,
Bones.
you were on Bones. That's a
Bones.
good show.
That's like a medical examiner.
Did you get a
I was
talking
nurse.
part?
Of course, yeah.
Shh, of course,
Of
you got
course,
She's making the big
why
bucks,
not?
folks.
We're in
Uh-huh.
LA. Of course, he's supposed to have a talking part. Yeah, I played a nurse. What was that actor I played with? He was like real famous. He was married to Farrah Fawcett.
Get out of here,
What was his
Ryan.
name? Ryan O'Neal.
Oh wow,
He's nice.
he's very nice.
He's very nice.
He's one fine looking gentleman.
He's very handsome.
Yeah, and how did you
I was his
how did
nurse.
you get into that?
I was doing that in between, okay, with all the kids. I was SAG, I did all that with the kids, the commercials. And so I was already, around the business. I understood, how to get an agent and things like that. So that was something I've always done, the acting.
Yeah, somebody did that like I'm learning all the language, but like I said, now let's follow along, folks. This is a woman, 3 children, doing commercials and married, doing acting, and also producing her own comedy show, which she said don't get into because it's a lot of work. She could, to me, I'm like, you slackers out there, because really, there's a lot of people who have no idea of, like, when I meet comedians, my first question is, so did you live in your car too? Because that's an ongoing. I can't believe how many comedians.
A lot have lived in their car, but because I'm married, I didn't have to do that.
that's
I had
right.
someone,
Yeah,
backing me up.
They say, yeah, that's right. See, she got it easy. She doesn't know what it's like to,
No, I have it hard too. But
Yeah,
yeah.
It's a lot to stay funny and to stay up because the
stay up.
enthusiasm you have to bring that.
You have to bring it.
You know?
Well, once you see the audience,
You get lit.
you get lit. That I
Isn't
mean,
it the
once I
best?
see I see the people, I see them, and I'm like, why? If they're coming through the door, and I see, especially when I see like couples, or I see groups of women coming in, or just groups coming in, I look at their clothes, and I see them. I was like, yes, it's like a kid in the candy
I
store.
ask comedians, do you look at the audience as they're coming in? I've heard different, where one guy goes early and then because he gets a vibe as to what he's dealing with, upper, middle, older,
Yes.
mostly women, bridal shower.
Yes.
So what you have is a plethora of material.
Yes, you
that-
can look at them and you can decide. Oh, I'm going to start with my relationship joke because I see this, group.
That's cool.
Or I may start with, something about kids, or if I, it just depends. If I see somebody coming in pregnant or whatever, I'm like, if she's in the front seat, I'm like, okay, I know I'm going to start with her right there, So it's good to look at the audience for me.
And on the fly, to be able to like suddenly you've got something flying out of your face. And I know creative people, you hear it when the audience does. That's how quick it happens. Okay? And then you crack yourself up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like you're enjoying it with the audience. And then you remember, like, this is why I do this.
This is why I do this. Especially when you become one with the audience.
Right.
Oh, that's the best feeling in the world. Oh my God. When you guys are laughing at the same thing.
That's the addiction. That's what keeps you guys coming back.
That's what brings you
and
back.
Perfecting your art.
The love.
Yeah.
The love from the people. There's nothing like it.
Yeah, I mean, look at, now we all know I say this every show. I want to interview Kevin Hart. Kevin, if you're out there, I am so coming after you. When you least suspect it, be like this woman else all over me with the microphone. He's like a machine. I mean, everybody that's come on the show is like, he's not human. He is a robot. Because when you see him, I'm like, damn, he gets, and he's in training. To be in the physical shape that he's in, that contributes to the stamina he needs to do what it is that he does. He was just nominated, they said, for his portrayal of the comedy show that he did. An Emmy.
Really?
Yeah, he said he gave it a shout out today. Plus, he's talking about Saturday Night Live has asked him to close out the year. Okay. He's got Jumanji. He's doing his tour, his comedy tour. And I'm just like, okay, and he has a new baby, a family.
He's married, yes.
And he's got like a whole entourage of his.
And an entourage.
Yeah, an entourage. And like I've been close, like I had Naeem on the show.
Oh, you had Naeem?
Naeem. If I get that name,
Naeem Lind,
right.
He's so funny.
Isn't he? And, you know, he was, I watched all of his interviews to make sure that, you know, like I like to know about them. And that was one of the things was he was on the Breakfast Club and they kept saying, and Kevin Hart this and Kevin Hart that. And do you think Kevin will this? And finally I could see you get body posture and he's looking and he turned around to the woman that asked one more Kevin Hart. He says, let me ask you something. Did you have me on the show to interview me? Or you want to know about Kevin, have his, and I went, okay, do not ask 20 questions about Kevin Hart. Because you're not interviewing, and it's that thing. It's an LA thing. It's like, we can't get him, but we're going to get all that from you as close as we're going to get. And I don't want to know that. I want to know while he's here what his story is. Because I've yet to meet a comedian. Now, do you have any, like, drama? Like, comedians have all these dark, but drama is what forges,
that's what makes you funny.
Iron of comedy.
That's what makes you funny. I mean, a lot of times when the comedians are off stage, people don't see, the tears, the pain, the dark side. There is a dark side too. I mean, it's not always ha 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 with the laugh. That laughter and then that sad, that acting side.
Yes, that's why we've lost a lot of great comedians. Yeah. And that's one of the things is like, who inspired you? I mean, I love to. You know what?
Whoopi Goldberg, I saw her years and years ago, and I was like, oh my God, she's doing characters, and she was doing like, oh my God, like this white girl, and it was so good.
You could I hope if they ever do a Whoopi story that you actually try it, because I bet you, yes, I could so see that. She had, and that was what that whole her, Billy Crystal, and Robin Williams when they really did that first special that they did, and she came out with that sheet on her head and did I always wanted to be blonde hair.
Oh my God!
And those characters which made her so unique at her craft.
She was definitely ahead of her time. I loved her. Comedy is not like that anymore.
No, it's like. Where is it going? Is it an Instagram thing? And I know because the guys last night, I brought that up. And I said, a lot of the old timers they're talking about how Instagram doesn't translate that you can do a set.
No.
And they don't want it to take away from what being actually on stage is all about. And I said, well, the industry has kind of forced you guys to be a little more creative and have the ability to use it. If you do not master your social media, you're out.
You're in trouble. Kevin Hart, one of the reasons why he's so genius is he mastered social media. He mastered that thing. He had the Twitter, he had the Facebook, he had the IG. He had more fans than Hollywood. Before Hollywood even knew about him, he had millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of fans.
Man, you got to admire that.
He was producing his own shows too on the big level. And so then Hollywood came looking for him, but he was already established.
He didn't need them. That's why when they agreed to do, um, they gave him complete creative freedom,
Yes.
50% ownership of
Yeah.
his content. Yeah, laugh out loud. When they did that deal with him, because basically Kevin could have said, I don't need you.
Yeah.
I could take this shit myself. And because of what his name is, and he's become now a complete.
He's a rock star.
Yeah, I mean,
Huge.
he is a kingdom in itself.
Oh my God. And he's like,
I know, but
he's so cute too.
isn't he? I don't know
Wow.
if he'd like his. I think he's fine. I think he's like
He's
GQ,
handsome.
GQ. Oof.
Very fine.
You know, I
Just
don't know if I
beautiful.
could deal with all that high profile. Like you take a strong woman, that queen got her shit together, because they ain't no way that you're sharing somebody with the world, and you got to set the rules down, and that was pretty. I do know that, and that's the other thing. I mean, do you realize when you hit that momentum of like everybody knows who you are, and people get all up in your business. And it's the industry that I see. It's like it's almost a religion within itself. We're gonna worship you, then we're gonna crucify you first chance we get. Because when you get that famous, what is that? What is that? I mean, it's like they want to devour you. The first chance they admire you, they love you, they rip you apart in public, and they have this thing, your fans, and yet that same gom that builds you up, the first chance they get to tear your shit
ass
down.
Look at Wendy
What?
Williams. Look what happened to her this past. Were you watching it like 2-3 weeks ago? She fainted
Oh, that's
on her set, and they tore
her up.
They tore her up.
It's like you're
They said
not,
she was on drugs and everything. Correct, everything.
and none of that was true.
I don't know. I don't know. But I'm just saying they were saying
In case
bad
she ever
things.
wants to, remember, Wendy, I spoke for you. Yeah, I mean, and the other
They
side
tore
of that
her
is I
up.
find a lot of very spiritually based.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of God out there.
There's a lot of preachers out there.
There's a
There's
lot
a lot of
preachers.
Instagram preachers out there. I think I'm one of them.
But that's all right. I mean, I look forward to that. I mean, you to inspire people. I mean, and that's what comedy does. It gets you through the moments. And I keep saying to people, if you don't support your comedians and they go away, where you at? All right? Because if you don't have the ability what they bring, relationships, everything that you guys cover is what we need relief from. It's like an enema, people.
Uh-oh.
Get all that shit out of your
you
life
gotta get
and
that
laugh it out.
constipation
Yeah,
out.
get that constipation. You need to laugh.
Some
You need to
oatmeal.
bring that out. Yeah, right. Straighten you right out.
Speaking of that, when you mentioned Instagram preachers, okay, so I'm doing a film now because I was like, you know what, I have to graduate outside of the comedy club.
Bring it to the next level. This is why I'm talking.
I love what I do at the Ice House and at the other comedy clubs. Because I do it at Flappers too, and Comedy Union too. I do all three of those clubs, and I look forward to doing Laugh Factory and Improv and all the other ones too. However, I decided to go into film because now that I know how to produce, it's the same formula of putting it together. I figured that out, that I know how to put people together. And so I'm doing a faith-based film.
Oh,
next.
really?
Yes.
Melvin Jackson Jr. just did one of those.
Yeah, faith-based comedy. Putting a bunch of comedians in there.
Oh, my God.
Bunch of funny people.
Is there any smartasses from Boston? I mean, what is it? How come people not monopolize this accent? It's like, I'm telling you. Yeah, that sounds, you're,
that's next.
so where are you at with that?
Pre-production, I just secured the cameras. That's the hardest thing, is the production. So it's all conversation.
Right.
You don't know where
It's gonna
the
come
blessing
from.
is going to come from. You don't know who. You just got to keep
But
telling people.
God has a plan for you.
I know he do.
As we say, praise Yahweh.
Yes. Uh-oh.
But yeah,
That's
don't go
a private joke right there.
Joke right there. But seriously, I mean,
yes.
that plan, I mean, a lot of people don't, they fist fight, they think they're driving. You ain't.
No, you're not.
And if you don't sit and be still and listen and follow directions, you're going to get derailed.
You got to be open. You got to be open to what the universe brings you. But yeah, that's next. Film. Because got to take it to the next level. We need more money. We need more money.
That is, and we'll talk about my idea for that, on how people even in that area, you got to be very ingenious. You got to come up with new ways.
You better be.
Because people don't want to, people don't want to part with your money. I'm thinking knocking these homeless people off of this street corner. Screw you. I'm here because I need views. Get away from me. Instead, I'll be running up to the phone I'll run up to your car with my cell phone. This is me. Watch me. Look at this. This is all you got to do. Now hit it. Put your phone out. Let's look at this. You got time. Light's still red. It's LA. You ain't going nowhere for shit.
And make them follow you.
And make them follow me. View me. All right. You're off. Thank you. See ya. Right?
Right, because Hollywood now wants you to have like 100,000 followers for them to even give you 2 lines on a film. What's up with that?
And the other side of that too, it's like think about that. They not only what the woman told me that I was speaking to is they don't just look at your views. You have to have sincere followers. You have to have a give and take because there's so many. You can buy views.
You can buy views,
but the system now works that they figured that out because there's money involved. All right, so now they actually have a computer technology that tracks to make sure that your viewers are actually viewing and they're not being digitally produced. And I'm like, shit, they're onto that. So that's why I'm saying, like, all right, now picture this in your mind. If this crazy ass woman was out on the street corner and going up and somebody would talk, I bet you the news team would come out and go, yeah, all right, people, we got this woman out here. And every show, everybody goes, shut up. Why do you give out ideas?
Because maybe somebody will hear it and want to.
But could you, because if somebody came up to you, you would be like, what? You want me to what?
You want me to follow you?
Yeah, you want me to follow you? Yeah, and explain your cause because it's L.A. Everyone here is chasing a dream.
Everyone here has a dream.
Yeah, man.
Everyone here has talent. Everybody, a lot of people have talent.
And you guys are all spoiled. And I know one of the things, I keep saying that because you're in a cafe and you've got somebody that's singing that maybe Sony just signed, but it doesn't translate into like instant I'm famous.
No, it doesn't.
There are people that have contracts. There's people been on BET, HBO, and they're still hustling because it never stops. That's the other thing. It's like your child. You will never stop being a parent to it. You have to nurture it for the rest of how long you want to do it.
Can you believe that?
Yeah,
Isn't
because I'm amazed that when you talk to comedians, they got double digits.
And they're just now making ground in double digits. I mean, they damn near have to be doing it for 20 years before someone actually says, you.
Exactly. Which you never know when that can happen. You ever think of that, like when you're getting dressed and going, I'm going to the grocery store. I don't care. And then your mind goes, yeah, but there might be somebody. Because you don't know, right? Isn't that true? Thank God for baseball caps and glasses. You famous people ain't the only ones hiding, right? I mean, sincerely, you never know where you would strike up a conversation. Okay, you know where I'm guilty of? My girlfriend goes, how do you keep meeting men that want to date you? I go, Starbucks.
Starbucks? That's where you're meeting those young tenderonis.
Tenderonis are sitting across from me, and they start talking to me. And me, it gets unleashed. And, I guess the energy. Yeah. They'll say that, and I do believe this because I've been out and you ever notice how people in LA don't want to look at you or talk to you? Yeah. Okay. But, I'm not used to that. You get in an elevator with me and we be driving and talking and you be getting off the elevator, you be laughing. And then when I had Lyft, I kept joking and saying I was going to get a pink cape.
Yeah, you did Lyft.
I did Lyft for a little bit, and in fact, I might have to be forced back into it.
Yeah, why did you stop?
You guys got too much fucking traffic out here. It was great when I dropped you off that lonely ride back, and I'd be sitting in traffic going, I fucking hate traffic. Why am I driving? Why am I driving for money? Why am I killing my car?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I talked to a lot of comedians doing Uber, and that was I said we should start our own Uber, call it Gooba, and have comedians. Nothing but comedians. And you get in the car, and all we're going to do is jokes. And you specifically call that to be entertained. You want to go out? Well, instead of having to go to club and a 2-drink minimum, I'm going to drive you around. And I'll do jokes so you can listen in the back seat.
Oh, my gosh.
Imagine if you could get, like, a limo and do, like, groups. And have the comedian. I mean,
or a party bus.
A party bus where we talked about that. And that's where, the person in the chair said, shut up. I said, yeah, man, we'll get grouped with the B&Bs, and we'll do a package where we got the party bus, we have comedians, and you're staying at the B&B, and you want to be entertained. We'll entertain you on the way to the comedy clubs. We'll work out a package deal with the comedy clubs. Do I sound crazy?
No, you sound like someone with ideas.
Right. So, I mean, like, in L.A., I cannot believe, and like I said, I've been with comedians where I'm like, why is that person even on stage? And then there's been comedians where I'm like, oh my God, this person is going to go somewhere. This person is unique. And then you see 6 other unique, incredible talents get up. And I don't know how they determine that.
It's crazy. And even that person that you see on stage who doesn't have it yet, if they keep at it,
They're only going to get better.
They get it. It's like, comedy is something that time makes you funny. Time makes you funny. Even if you're not funny right now, time will make you funny.
Were you getting into it? I mean, all the formulas that go into writing, all the formulas that go into timing, all the formulas that get into that stage present, addressing the audience, how you stand, I mean, because every comedian has a different way, faces that are made. I'm like dissecting it, and I realize some comedians are blessed with very flexible faces.
Right.
And when they tell their joke, and one eye bugs out, and the other eye squints, and people react, and all they have to do is stop. They've said the punchline, and then they add the face.
Mm-hmm. And they act it out.
And they all act it out. And speaking of acting out, what's your thoughts on Mr. Lewis?
CK?
Yeah.
I heard about it.
I mean, with all this, like, this is women are like, fuck this shit. We're done with you people.
Women,
right?
Yeah.
We're
think
done
after, 45 got away with what he got away with. They're not letting anybody else get away with it.
No, and
I mean, everybody else is having to pay for 45 right now. So,
right, and all. Yeah, well, I mean, I've I just had to say, with what people are coming out with, how do you become that famous and think you're invisible? I mean, how do you do things that like even like let's take Wiener,
you think you're not going to get
sending
caught.
his wiener.
I know you think you're not going to get caught,
right?
And when they get caught up in the moment.
Yeah, because that narcissism takes off, and they're like, I'm above it all.
Narcissism.
Well, there has to be a certain amount of narcissism that goes into doing this. That I mean, we all have traits of that, but there also has to be narcissist plus stupid, because to me that translates you got to be stupid to be winging your wang and think nobody eventually is going to say, hey man, he was flopping his dick around and I was offended by that. Especially once. I mean, how many of them out there right now are like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Honey, why are you sweating? Why are you drinking like that? Oh shit, he did what? He got caught doing what?
Because a lot of
them
are, are guilty.
Entitlement. Is it different being on the road as, have you done, I mean, your kids are older now, and I mean, as far as being a woman on the road,
I'm not the road comic.
You stay local.
I'm local. I'm the producer here. I'm the producer comic.
Well, that's the other thing. I mean, that's a genius too.
I have to produce. I got to put it together.
You had to realize that the road travel wasn't going to work.
No, not when you have like 3 kids
that
you're taking care of, and they're still in school, elementary school. So,
most would have just given up and said, I can't balance all of this.
That's why most female comics haven't even had kids. If you notice,
right?
A lot of them haven't had.
I just thought they were wicked smart.
They didn't. A lot of them aren't even married, or haven't ever been married. So, the successful ones,
right? And I've had a lot of the women comedians on saying, "Don't date comedians." And I'm like, really? Not that I would, because it's just like once you stop, once you stop. There's a lot of narcissism. And they're like, when I asked Guy Torrey about the woman thing on the road, and like he said, it's very difficult. It changes over the years of how when you're younger and what it is as you get older, and not that he's looking to get tied down, but I mean he's like, no, there's no problem getting women. I mean you're the center of attention on stage, and that would go to, we used to joke about that, the bartender, the guy at the door, the bartender, and the performer. You were guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Right? A little action. A lot of action, actually. And you got to wonder with women, like I'm watching the Instagram. I mean,
it's the same. Women, I mean, there's legions of male fans. I mean, my DM is like, poof.
Oh, all of them in talking to you.
I get everything.
Like
you would think like it's like a dating site, like when you're a female comedian, when you're on stage, because like the male guys, they'll
All right,
Send you little
let's talk about
messages.
dick pics. Let's be honest about that, because this is all new to me, people. And,
Oh my
and this
God.
is like, I mean, every woman has said to me, "So have you got any dick pics yet?" And I'm like,
You haven't gotten one yet?
I've gotten a couple. I've been offered, "Would you like a dick pic?" And no, my
No.
dick card's full. Thank you very much.
Exactly.
Oh my God, a penis! Said no woman ever, unless it was lying outside on her doorstep as she opened the door, detached from the body it was belonging to. And I would love to do a skit, and it would call "What Men Think Women Do with Dick Pics" and "What Women Actually Do with Dick Pics."
Right.
Because it's not what you think, man.
It's
We
not.
don't care.
We don't.
We get it.
We get it.
You know,
Once in a blue moon, we might show it to
say, "Whoa,
a friend,
yeah,
a girlfriend, if it's
right."
You know.
But if I was a guy, I would be having fun with that. I'd get a little cape, maybe some goggle. I'd dress it up. I mean, if you're gonna do it, you got to step outside the box. No pun intended.
Sometimes they'll, put the condom over it and send that
Really?
to you. Yeah.
Really? No, I haven't gotten that.
Yeah.
And
I thought that was okay. I'm like, okay, I see you. Okay.
To actually be like, okay, and like, do you understand the equipment would be my question. First of all, just because you have the equipment doesn't mean you understand how to work it to its best ability.
Exactly. And it's not like we're going to say, oh my God, look at that beautiful dick.
Like,
pic,
oh my God.
and I'm going to handle this thing.
Right.
Like, I mean, we're not, I don't
No.
know. That's not,
And the funniest part of that is looking at, somebody and saying, "I'm sorry, do you think I have a problem locating dick?"
Exactly.
Like I'm getting, it's inbox, literally, okay?
No, but the thing is, they want to show you what they're working with. They
Right.
want you to work with what they got.
Right. And,
Okay.
and I don't get that because, we don't, women aren't wired like that.
We're not wired like that,
No.
visually like that. Not
No.
for a dick pic.
But when you got women, and like there was one guy on his site, he's got these twerking women. And there was a woman who had attitude. She had a big old booty that wasn't hers. And it's
Okay.
that like they've got it
Yeah.
jack-packed.
Yeah, packed in.
Packed in, jack-packed. And
It's a
I'm
lot
like,
of booties that look like that now.
And I'm in the gym trying to lose it. And Sally was like, no, baby, that's okay.
Yeah,
It's
you're
like,
good.
It's like, you're good. You
Yeah.
could eat a little bit more. And I'm like, I like this.
That's why I was looking at
You
your
white
booty. I
boys
was
can
like,
stay with that skinny ass little bitch. I don't care.
I was looking at your butt walking behind. I said, girl, she got a black booty. I got the white booty.
Oh,
okay?
yeah. Well, you got legs.
Okay, I got legs, girl. I
You
got a little
legs,
booty. I
man.
got
They
a
go
little
on
booty.
forever. Yeah. And I mean, and yet you had guys sitting here and he's like, I'm a titty man. I like boobs.
Mhm.
Don't show me the booty. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah,
Yeah, some guys are titty.
everybody's
Everybody's
got a different preference. And mine is like, you got to have something with your face, but I want to know what comes out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm at that age where, can you hold my attention?
Yes.
And
So you're sapiosexual.
yeah, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I like that big word. I'm going to look that up later.
Yeah. That's a person that's attracted to intellect and
Very much so.
conversation. And that's what turns you on.
And men don't get that.
Some,
I mean,
some men,
they come out.
some men get that. They get
They
that.
do have to-
they
I'll
get
have to
that
get out that
intellectual
more.
conversation there, and that turns, they know that, that turns them on too.
Do you have a like? And I know this about you. You have a lot of depth to you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're meeting and you're talking to some of your comedians, and I'm sure in sharing where they come from and what their stories are, and then you see that. Do you like stand in awe sometimes when you watch that transformation on stage, as to what they come in and what they're carrying, because nobody knows what they went through that day and what their situation is, and yet on stage, that brilliance that comes out of them, that exudes this incredible ability to make the person, and it's the giving. And people, I mean, honestly, that audience laughter that you guys feed off of
it's so delicious.
is also what is the incredible fuel for people to get through their lives. I say for comedians, every comedian's slogan should be, if laughter, and I said that, if laughter is the best medicine, let them be your pharmacy.
Yes.
Seriously. Because
That's good.
it's like we had a group, the idea of when my girlfriend had cancer, they were like, watch some comedy shows. And I always say that to people, like, hey, it's a fucking holiday. Get to the comedy shows. You will find that laughter is like a violent release.
It's a violent. This woman, I did a show on Mother's Day, and this woman came up to me with tears in her eyes, and she told me that she had lost her husband. Her husband died in January. Her son got killed in February, and And this was the first time she ever laughed was at this particular comedy show on Mother's Day. And
Wow.
she had tears coming down her eye. And I was like, damn, that's when I really did realize that laughter is medicine. My God. I mean, you could just see the hope. She had hope in her eyes. And she said she cried every day until that day when she went to the comedy show. It's the first time she laughed.
How empowering
in
is
5
that?
months.
As to what it is.
Made me
That's
feel
what,
so good. That's why I said, oh my God, if I can touch one person like that, how can I get to millions? That's why I prayed. I said, God, how can I get to millions?
That's right, people. And if you're out there doing it just for the glory and all that, you're going to come up short because you weren't given this. It's not your gift. It's not. It's what, you know, I imagine God saying, look at this is a depressed bunch. Look, look at, she's all pissed off. He ate the apple. Things are getting gloomy. We need some jokes in here, people. We need some humor. I know. I'll make comedians. Right?
Goodness. Yes.
Because
the angels, the comedians.
yeah, very much so. And you watch the transformation in people. Laughter is known to heal so much about what we're going through. And there isn't a subject that you couldn't take. You know, even you meet people who fall. I'm not laughing because it's just the thought that you can make this funny. People who are like devastated over the loss of an animal. Okay. Same thing, loss of a person.
Like loss of a person.
And you have this ability to, like where I watch comedy shows where Seinfeld, or they take those subjects. Larry David is brilliant like that. To take a subject that you just wouldn't talk about. Like, I just watched one of his things, little things like, and I'm roaring because he can't get, you know, the pump bottles? The scene opens and he's in the shower and he's got one of those pump bottles that you're supposed to twist in the pop. Now, how many times have you done that and it didn't work? That where you're trying to get the friggin' top or into something, and he's going through this complete fit in the shower to where he's absolutely losing his mind on how to get this thing, you know? And it's not pretty, man. He's an old guy in the shower. And I mean, all right, so he works out, but still that he allowed himself to be shot. And the most vulnerable, he's soaking wet. He looks like a plucked chicken. Okay?
That's how he looks too, Larry David.
Yeah, and he's fist fighting this pop top, but just laughing hysterical at a time when I really needed that over taking a simple thing that we've all had to deal with and making it hilarious.
Genius. He's a genius. That's genius. Because when it's simple like that and you portray the comedy in there, that's where the genius comes in.
And it touched issues like there was the woman was a lesbian. She was very dykey looking. He hesitated about opening the door for her.
Yeah,
so he lets the door go, and his point was, I didn't know if you get mad if I open the door. If I open the door and you tell me, I don't need you to hold the door for me, asshole. I don't know what your response is. What is it? And it goes back and forth. Where you actually are laughing, but you're going, what that could happen
That could
when you open the door.
That could happen.
And I don't need you to open the door for me, asshole. Yeah, I can do it myself.
That could happen.
Which they played out later in it that her partner did that to him. He went to open the door and she said, fuck you, I don't need you to hold the door. And he goes, see what I mean? It's a non-win situation. So, yeah, I love that he touches on things that and makes it funny.
That reminds me of one comedian that I know. He said he went to Walmart and it was, more of a dykish looking, lesbian, and he didn't know how to address her because she had the little boy cut and everything. So he called her sir ma'am, sir ma'am, because he didn't know how to say it. He was like sir ma'am, like real fast, like sir ma'am, so, like that.
It'd be a whole new thing. What? Wait, that also translates when I said to somebody, they were talking last night about the idea of being called Black, African American, colored, Negro, and it's like, okay, I want you to know as a person of whatever, pasty white person, what is it? Because everybody's so worried about stepping on everybody else's humanness.
I guess for me, I don't know, Black, African American. Colored, no, don't say colored. That'll take you back to the slavery days. You don't want to hear. You don't want to hear colored ever. Okay.
Well, no, that's...
and Negro either. Like you don't want to hear Negro. I think somebody said Negro before. I'm like, what the hell?
That's ancient.
That's 1926.
And I had somebody say, don't call me an African American. There's no country called Africa America.
Exactly.
So I am a Black person, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And do not call me a person of color. And I'm like, okay. And, it's just like, everybody is so super sensitive, thinking that somebody else has an agenda. And there's a lot of things right now, that the thing with Libya.
I was just gonna bring that up. Can you believe that?
No.
Slavery? So they're selling the slaves to other Libyans? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Like,
And they're
they've
auctioning
always
off
done
black
that.
men. And I'm like, and
That's Africa.
what they're saying is that it's known. This is nothing new. CNN just blew it open. As news should be doing, people. Give me something worthwhile. I don't want to know what the next fucking stupid thing is going to come out of his mouth. That, to me, is not newsworthy. When you go down the headlines and you see what people are really clicking on, Kardashian shit, I don't care about that. Seriously? What is wrong with
Even though
us?
you look like Christiana, but go ahead.
Yeah, I know, right? That Christiana thing again. I should meet her. But yeah, I'm just wondering what this is. This is such a big
sad.
deal. It's more than sad. It's just something that I don't understand. The dehumanization of people, and they're people.
And they're people.
People.
And then on the other hand, what is it? Prince William? He's marrying a woman who's half black.
Which is a big deal.
It's a big deal over there.
And like,
Because she's growing into the royal family.
now, yeah, but there's all that. Like, it wouldn't have been acceptable if it was
A full.
yeah, where he was next in line for the crown. And I'm like, you know what, people. It really is true. Like,
Times are changing, though.
I hope so. And I mean, taking comedy to that, where I watched the clip, and Guy Tori did a thing on somebody being like, God couldn't make up his mind. It was like he was going to make him retarded, and then he changed his mind. He was talking about one of the Lakers players. He was at a roast for Shaq. It was a Michael Jordan. Anyways, he's doing the run, and he's like, he run like that. And I said to him, how long ago was that? And it was when everybody wasn't so politically uptight
Because now
about being correct. And he said, but screw them. I still do the joke, and it still gets laughs. And I don't know if it's the way you present it, because I had somebody say to me, because I'm from Boston, I use the term. If I say, "Oh my God, I felt so retarded over that," and where people are very sensitive to that term, somebody said, the way you say it, you can get away with it.
You can get away with it. Yeah, no one's gonna.
Do you find that on stage is knowing your audience as far as like the jokes?
Like a lot of comics can't make jokes about 45. Like, people are just not. Yeah, but there are some genius ones that can do jokes about 45, and it'll go over. But you got to be real careful nowadays.
Do you think as a comedian that if you come off too cocky and righteous, that's where you don't get away with that? But if you come off like you're regular folk, like everybody else was sitting there thinking like, what the fuck did he just say? I mean, because seriously,
I think
that's where you get away when you can, like you said, become one with the audience and understanding your audience. Do you think that's something that that's what being on stage teaches you?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think.
But
being able to get away with whatever you want to say, it depends on the character that you portray on stage.
Okay.
If you're coming across like almost like, I don't want to dingy. I don't know if that's the word, but like you're innocent. Like, you could say anything. You could say something about 45. You could say something about the Korean. You could say something about Russia. You could say something about the KKK. Like, no problem. And then there are other people that seem like they're so smart. You can't say everything. If you come across like you're very smart, you can't say everything.
Too politically correct. I think that's where Shang gets in trouble. Shang is he's very smart.
Right.
And they get, and I think that, like he'll ask questions and like, damn, that's deep.
Yeah.
And he wants feedback. And also for like, would you say have you had anything really freaky happen to you on stage where you were like approached by somebody or somebody said something or?
No, I've had someone throw a $10 bill at me.
Get out.
Yeah.
It's some legs, I'm telling you.
But yeah, I haven't had much of a problem on stage. Yeah.
And who would you say your favorite right now out there is?
My favorite out there would be okay, of course, Kevin Hart, because of the way he does his business. Let's see. In terms of females, who do I like? I like Cheryl Underwood. Have you heard of her?
Yep.
I wish you could get her.
Somebody else brought her up. They asked me if I had, in doing my homework and looking at the different ways that
she's political.
Women, yeah.
She's political too, and she's in your face. It's different. and it's bold and it's aggressive.
Isn't
and it's
Lampanelli
funny.
like that though?
Lampanelli's like that too, but Lampanelli is more can be more blue. Yeah,
Okay.
can be more blue. Cheryl Underwood is more political.
And
like,
sharp, right?
Like Shang.
And she's sharp as a tack when it comes to that. She knows her shit.
Highly educated.
Yeah.
Highly educated. She hosts on the show, the talk.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And
that's why
the other
she's
side.
there. See, she's there.
That's the other misleading thing. People don't. When I've had the comedians on and what they were into, degrees and what they studied, and I'm amazed. And I'm like, you gave up like the G. Hill. He's a lawyer.
No, he's a lawyer.
And I'm like, wait a minute, let me get this straight. You sidestep that to do comedy? I mean, it's brutal.
But the thing is just like some comedians are engineers. A lot of them are engineers. A lot of them are lawyers. This is against your parents make you go to school. You know, you get that education.
Nobody ever. What, you want to be a comedian? Oh, I lived for this day.
Yeah, and then you go and you follow your dream after you get your degree. That's what happened with G. Because when I found out I'm like, you're a lawyer? What? I think he's a criminal too. I'm not sure. He's a criminal lawyer.
Yeah, he's in saying that, I was really impressed by the fact that, you know,
and he went to Stanford. How about that?
Yeah. Oh my God, I didn't know that.
He went to Stanford.
Damn.
Hello. You already know how hard it is to get in that school.
That's impressive. But see, that's also, people don't realize that about comedians. They don't think you guys have any brains.
Oh, please. We have the most brains. That's why we're comics.
And most people, the creativity that takes. You know, anybody can tell a story, but to take a story and make it like hilarious.
You have to be bright
night after
to do
night
stand-up.
After night.
You have to be bright to do stand-up.
Yeah, and also
sharp as a whip.
And also thick-skinned.
Thick-skinned.
Very thick-skinned. And remember Willie Seeger's, if you would just get over your fear of rejection, I know what that is. So what? And I'm like, so what? But that's what you guys master, is like, all right, give it to me.
You gotta not give up.
Dead silence, crickets, whatever. I'm going to get through this.
You gotta get through the dead silence and crickets. I had dead silence and crickets for the first 5 years.
Ooh.
5 years, brutally silence and crickets. I didn't even know who I was on stage the first 5 years.
That's what they call finding your voice.
I didn't know my voice. I just found my voice 2.5 years ago. But the thing is, once you find your voice, oh boy.
Yeah, that ought to be interesting. Like everybody,
boy.
like I keep thinking that, you know, I'd love. This is my education. People are always, no, she's not running a show. She's actually running a school that she's learning, and I really wish that, you know, to get it out there, the young comedians. There's so much value in the shows that I've done. Mm-hmm. What the comedians talk about, the information, it's school, and if you really are interested in becoming a comedian, I say check out the library. You never know. Somebody said to me, you know, if it blows up, Annamarie, people go back. They're known for that because everything is archived. Mm-hmm. And they look at, you know, what it is that you brought to the table, and it's like the stories are unbelievable. And I want to know where you're going to be. I want you to get it out there as we come down to the wind down.
Yes. First, I want to tell everybody how to find me.
Social media.
Find me on Instagram, Nancy Bellany Comedy. Let me spell my name for you guys. It's NancyBellan as in Nancy Y Comedy. That's Instagram. Twitter, it's Nancy B Fancy. Facebook is Nancy Bellany Comedian. You can find me on all.
And you got some
platforms.
shows coming up?
I have some shows. Well, yes, I do. Of course, I
just saw your post.
I do. I have Flappers coming up December 9.
Yep,
I'm not producing that one, but I am on that show. I'm featuring on that show, so I look forward to that. And then, of course, I have the film, and then I'll be at the Ice House in January again.
Check it out, and I do like to check out your shows. Nancy's been so kind to let me get up and do a shout out for my show when I get up there, and to have people see their, you know, because otherwise. That's what I keep saying. Unless people talk about it, they're not going to know I'm even here. And it's you guys that it highlights. It's your show. And, you know, looking forward to, like I said, I'm amazed at watching. When you're up on stage, I'm always taking notes as to you're so comfortable there.
I am.
You know, it's like most people will say that. When you stand on stage for the first time and you get that first, you hit it. There's nothing, you're in, no matter what. And no matter what they throw at you, you keep getting up and you keep going back into the ring. There is nobody like these fighters. Like nobody has, to me, the spirit and the heart that comedians do. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's something because no one's handing you your script.
Mm-mm.
You're being judged on every word. Where a singer has a song, and they can be forgiven on a suck song because they're going to get the next song. Not a comedian. You're judged on every single word that comes out of your mouth. So, you guys, I hope you've enjoyed the show. As we come to the end, next week I'm going to be forging through. And hey, if you're a comedian, DM me. I like to get you all out here and tell your story. It's all about you. Thank you again, Nancy.
Bye, guys.
See you out there. Where'd he go to eat his chicken? Where'd you go to eat your chicken?